Hi, Sharif here. I just want to talk about a post that I put up a few days ago, probably about a week ago, about a budget being constructive and not restrictive. This is a post that is very dear to my heart because it tells a story about my life and where I'd been quite a number of years ago. I actually started considering and actually actively budgeting since 1996. So I've actually been on a 24-year journey, and I felt that this is something that could be very important to help someone out there when they're deciding between, oh, how do I even go about budgeting? How do I even start to get myself on this financial freedom journey? I pretty much stumbled upon the whole thing over the last 24 years. It wasn't that I just sat down and just read books on how to do this, accounting or whatever it is, although I did study that, so it helped a little bit. But I found that with a lot of practice and because my own lifestyle, the lifestyle I've chosen for myself, and my income streams, my expenditure patterns, the choices that I made in terms of at different points of my life, all affected exactly how my money would be administered or spent or grown or saved or planned, things like that. And I realized that there was so much going on in my life that if I didn't have a solid plan for how I was going to structure my finances and all that, that everything is just going to be up in the sky. I really wouldn't know what was going on. So one of the things that I actually wrote is, I've spoken to a few people because I have this Hello Money system that I've written. I spent the last 2 years actually designing this program. And I realized that if we do not have a money system that is centered around the lifestyle we have chosen for ourselves, a money system that's centered around the type of money we make, the volume of money that we make, the expenditure patterns that we have, the dependence that we have, our habits, because all of us have good habits, bad habits, you name it, and all these little things actually affect our money flow and whether we have money from one time to the next. I realized that without a proper money system, you're gonna struggle, really. So I've actually devised one for myself unknowingly, but I realized putting everything together for over the last 24 years that I've actually been running a very effective system for myself, and I thought, why not just teach it and let people know about it? Anyway, but budgeting is one of them. So I was thinking about budgeting now. I know many of you might be thinking budgeting is just putting down a bunch of numbers, forecasting, checking how long would it take my current income stream for me to run out of money, weighed against my expenditure and all that. All that is well and good. Checking the numbers, putting them down, seeing how far they go, how far they take you, how much income you need to make, and things like that. But there's another side to budget that I really want to talk about here, and that is the side. That's not the arithmetic side. Number one, it is actually more to do with the psychological side of budgeting. I realized one of the things that the budgeting does for me is it gives me a clearer picture of the next 12 months of my life. It's not just about seeing the numbers, but it's about also knowing whether, okay, let me put it in context. In 2017, I made a career change where I moved from being a full-time employee to being self-employed. Now, bearing in mind that I've actually started my budgeting journey in 1996, so I've actually got pretty good number of years under my belt in terms of how I would handle my finances and things like that. So by the time I got to this point, it really helped me a lot to now realize that, because the question I needed to ask myself is, okay, now that I'm out of a job and I'm about to start my own business, how many the stock of money or the pot of money that I've had in investment or savings or whatever you call it, how many months or what time can that buy me? How many months would I have to continue my current lifestyle before I go broke? And husband, few kids, and things like that. So you have to consider so many different things, because a lot of expenditures that are flying out once you're a parent, or once you're married, and things like that. You're running a home on your own. So I realized that one of the things that I had to do was to shrink my lifestyle. So for instance, if my money at the time was able to last me for about 3 months, let's just say on my current lifestyle, if I reduced my lifestyle and shrunk it a little bit, let's say I found that it was able to take me for about 5.5 months, right? Now 5.5 months with savings and investments, by the way, I had to liquidate quite a few of my investments. I realized was enough time for me to get a good plan down the line, because it gave me peace of mind. This peace of mind is very, very important. One of the things that budgeting does for you, having a clearer picture of your finances, is to help you to be able to plan the time ahead of you with the peace in your heart of knowing that nothing is going to go pear-shaped. You can still pay for your kids to go to school, you can still buy the groceries in the house, you can still have a certain level of lifestyle that you adore, without the pressure of feeling that, I'm going to go broke at some point. Now, yeah, the pressure does come if, for instance, you have 5 months of income left without actually bringing any money in, but at the same time knowing that if you're going to go broke in 5 months time, I have 5 months to be able to find something else to do that will bring in money. And you're not going to find something else to do in the 5th month. You're going to find something else to do in the 4th month. That's if you're going back into full-time employment. You find something to do in the 4th month, so that by the end of the 5th month, your first paycheck is coming in to meet the drought. So it's kind of like, so it gives you peace of mind psychologically as well. While you're planning your next move. Now, I decided I want to be self-employed from that point on, so I wasn't interested in actually going out and getting a new job. So I had to set up a business, register the business. I had to open a bank account for the business, and go through the normal formalities that you normally do. And I had to bear in mind how long it would take for the authorities to actually get that done, the monies I had to pay, bringing that money out. Now imagine if I didn't have this budget, I would just be spending blindly without knowing exactly where I'm going. So that's one of the things that the budget does for you. Another thing a budget does for you is to plan specific expenditure, and having the peace of mind. Imagine being able to walk into a store, seeing something you like. A lot of people don't realize that budgets actually help you to be able to buy impulsively. I explain what I mean by this. I actually buy impulsively because I'm disciplined and I have a budget, and I've been running my money system for the last 24 years. Doesn't actually mean that I don't buy things on impulse. My wife even knows that sometimes I could just sit down and just buy a couple of stuff, and she's like, what do you need these things for? You already have some stuff in the house that can serve you as well. But sometimes I just like things on the shelf, and I just go, I'd really like to own that, and I just put money down on it. Now, where does this money come from? Especially if it wasn't planned. It is possible for you to spend unplanned money impulsively, but with a budget, with the peace of mind of knowing that you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're not putting yourself or your family in danger from doing that. Again, the budget helps you to be able to do that. I can't go into too much detail about that now, because there's a way in which you can actually structure your expenses and give you that allowance for impulsive buying. There's nothing wrong with that. Once in a while, you can allow yourself to do that. You need to spoil yourself once in a while, but you have to spoil yourself within reason, and spoil yourself within the confines of the rules in which you've set for yourself and the lifestyle you have chosen. So there's so much to talk about in this area, but I just wanted to drop those 2 tidbits on what a budget can do for you, especially when you've mastered it after a while. I'm going to be dropping a few more videos aside from this one over time, especially about finances, personal money management, having your money system, habits, building positive money habits and things like that. But I just thought this should be the first one to at least encourage someone out there that there's certain things that you're doing at the moment, you might be told that it's wrong, but the reality is you can still do them if you structure your finances in a particular way that suits your own lifestyle. We'll talk about that later on. Till then, well, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Cheers.